All right, you devils, happy Friday. Sam here with you. Oh, it's the 14th of July. We're coming up on 2 o'clock. I'm getting this out later than I normally do. Tell you the truth, is my second swing of this. I got halfway into my first take, if you will. I just didn't like where it was going. It was just getting lost in the weeds, and I thought, oh, wait a minute. Okay, let's bring this back to something that can be useful to members and our YouTube subs, who we appreciate very much. So I just thought, okay, wait a minute, I'm too far in the weeds, too much in my own head. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So I've got the Bitcoin spot up here. BitGet, of course, that's our sponsor, right? So we're always gonna look when we can on BitGet. Links underneath, right? If you're looking for an exchange and you're not in the U.S. or you have a VPN, but it just so that you're aware of that, right? This is a great exchange. So. Here's my point. Okay, so if you brought this chart up here, and that's what I did. So often, it's just a good exercise. I mean, we Bitcoin, we've been here for, I don't know, 3 weeks. When do we get here? June 23rd? Exactly 3 weeks, right? Just going absolutely nowhere. Now, we've all seen the news, right? Everybody sees the news, the Ripple news, and, the Bitcoin ETF. Is it coming? Yeah, it's coming. I say that with the reason I have so much certainty about that is because there's just too much money to be made. And I don't mean from just the people that own Bitcoin. This is the entire ecosystem of crypto. Way too much money to be made. And too much talent, too much time, too much energy, too many resources have already been invested in this. I don't think it's going away. Now, I don't even know how many cryptocurrencies we have now. Are they all going to survive? 90%, probably not. But the strong will, and they'll thrive just as very similar. We can certainly look back to the dot-com bubble and all of that craziness, and the strong will survive, and the same here. So as we I'm going to focus on Bitcoin and ETH, but we'll look at a few other things as well. I mean, I don't think that they're going anywhere. And so the question becomes, okay, what is the catalyst? Now, okay, many people thought the Ripple case, I mean, it's not a, there's a little, if you read a little bit more about that decision, it's not a blank slate to, okay, we're out of the woods. It's kind of a mixed bag, but it's not the worst outcome. It's not the best outcome. It's not the worst. So it's being viewed. What you tell me? How is the market viewing it? Ripple shot up yesterday. I haven't looked at it today. Okay, so if you brought this chart up and you're new to TA or you're working on your TA, which is, I got to assume if people get through the length of time that I spend on these videos, it's because they're interested in the TA, right? Because it would be easy. There's got no shortage of places to just log on, take 4 minutes, and they'll buy here, sell it. That's not what we do, right? We don't do that because we're trying to help you improve as a trader, so you don't need to ask anyone. I don't ask anyone. It's not that I'm not interested in other people's opinion, but I don't want them influencing my decision. I want to make an objective decision based on my own work, my own analysis. But there are times when people will give me, something will go in my ear, say, oh, wait a minute, now maybe that is a triangle or something along those lines. But at the end of the day, you want to be completely self-sufficient. And that's been our goal since I started this business 5 years ago. Provide traders with the tools so they didn't need me or us or the entire team, right? And then if you stick around, it's just because you like the community. Okay, so my point being that often when you're, okay, we're stalling here, it can be a worthwhile exercise to just blank your chart and just start over. See if you come up with the exact same count. Because if you just bring it up and it's the same count from last week and the week before, it kind of makes you lazy. You're like, oh, fuck, hadn't done anything. I will tell you that as far as I'm concerned, there's no Elliott. Well, when we resolve out of this, we'll be able to label it. At the moment, there's no useful. The Elliott is not useful to me here. So I just take it off. Now, I think the exercise of getting to where we are here through working back through every one of these swings, very useful. So I would challenge any members that really want to work on their TA skills maybe over the weekend. Start with a blank Bitcoin chart or a blank ETH chart or whatever asset you really gravitate to, and just wipe it clear, just the chart, start over. Do you get to the same result? I did that, which is part of the reason why I'm late getting this up today. I mean, it took me 90 minutes. 90 minutes to do Bitcoin ETH. Oh, what did I do? Total 2 and Bitcoin D and Total 3. A few, oh shit, I guess you can't see them. Matic, AVAX, a few other coins. Just, okay, let's start from scratch, things that they're kind of hot on my list. But the exercise of doing this, and I actually come up with a count that we'd call it an alternate rather than, just being locked into, market's really dumb, being locked into one count. So let's do it this way. So here, this is an alternate here. Oh, let's see. I guess I don't need to do that. Let's do it this way. Okay, so this is an alternate here. This is what I came up with this morning, having dug through all of this. Now it looks like when it's done, like, oh, what do you mean, 90 minutes? Well, ETH was a little harder, but this is a change from the count that I had previously. So I do think this is a very viable alternative here. Some of you may have this, I would imagine, and it's just as valid as the prior count we've been looking at for the last couple of weeks. But the premise would be that I complete an impulse here. That's the 1. There's a 2. Now I can complete another impulse here. Triangle 4. I get another impulse here. So I get a massive impulse in the 1 impulse. All right, so I just get this contracting impulse. Ideal? No. Valid? Yeah. Yeah, perfectly valid. And it's really making a point of saying, okay, no impulse left behind. No correction unaccounted for. Can we make that fly? Well, it doesn't really change the net result when we get over here where you go, WTF. What is it? I'll tell you what it is. It's just contraction, right? And what do we know comes from contraction? Expansion, right? So right now we got equal highs. And so this is just a very typical consolidation, right? So people try and jump the sell, try and jump the buy, right? I mean, I've spent a lot of time advising the members here that don't buy it here. It's, again, I've said this so many times. I'm never saying that can't go or that couldn't go, $10,000. I'm never saying that. I'm just saying this is a very high risk and uncomfortable place to enter the market. So because you're going to be just, well, look, I mean, we know somebody bought it here. How are they feeling? $2,000 down. What were they thinking here? To the moon. Right? Why? See this is just a great example. Now you could say, okay, well, it didn't work that time. How about this time, right? Somebody brought right here. Oh, how did it work this time? How about here? Oh, here are the equal highs. How about this time? It's not rocket science. That's just again, it's not that it couldn't ever launch from there. Breakouts have to work, right? Or the people wouldn't keep doing them. Right, so we want them to work every now and then, right? It's the broken clock, right? Twice a day, you're going to get it right. But for a trader who's really deliberate about managing risk and makes that their focus rather than, look how much I can make, right? Which is a quick path to needing to refund your account. If you focus on the risk, you would know that okay, well, yeah, I could go, but if it goes, right, so I'm not going to worry about it, right? If it goes, likely there'll be a little retest, right? We spent so much time here. This is likely going to get retested. Right? Again, no guarantee. There are no guarantees in the market. We could go off and never look back. But it's just a really unpleasant way to trade, right? And trading, there's supposed to be some enjoyment. It's not just, I'd like to think that it's more than just did I make money or did I not make money. You got to enjoy the process, or you won't do it. If you don't enjoy the process or the challenge of it, have somebody else manage your money. If you want to get in here and do it, you got to do the work, right? Which, whether you're studying Elliott Wave or market structure or smart money concepts, or you're working with there's no easy money in here. As I've said many times, right? People come into the markets thinking, oh shit, easy money in here. This is the hardest easy money you'll ever make. So, right, breakout traders are learning that today. Okay, so as we sit here looking at this, where is there anything to do? Well, if you're not in the market, I don't think you have any trade here. Ideally, we can look here and see that that we've got a lot of imbalance here, right? We just did damn near do the whole thing, right? So we've got all of this imbalance here, and market doesn't like to leave that. It's like a vacuum, right? So the market will want to fill in that imbalance. It doesn't mean that it will, but that's a preference, right? So you can see the potential for the market to come back down here, and then we prefer that because it would give us some clarity as to what the hell am I doing here. I mean, is it here, right? I mean, is the 5 up here? I'm sure, just doesn't. God, it would be some sort of a wonky combo flat sideways. I don't know that it matters here, but if it is here and we're coming down, I'm not terribly disappointed in that because I get some clarity. Okay, okay, impulse weird 4. Look at the 2 to the 4, right? That's part of the reason that you find yourself being so reluctant to do it that way because the 2 to the 4. The time is so dramatically off. But then if you're thinking, oh shit, okay, it's a straight impulse up in a 1, is that my 2? Whoa, God, that may be one of the worst 2s I've ever seen. So could we get ideally some shit like this, right? Okay, I can work with that. This, I'm not touching that until I know, right, which way we're going. I'm still a bull. If we were thinking, let's get you out of here. Right? It didn't change my bullish bias, preference. Oh shit, I've been a bull for 5 years, right? So I don't think anybody logs on to watch any of my content and doesn't know that I'm going to be bullish. And yeah, we've looked at a bear count here. So if you're desperate for a bear count, well shit, there's other places to go get them. It's a little bit of a challenge here. These triangles, some of this you have to know, oh shit, can I get a triangle there in a WX? I mean, some of that takes some effort to learn that. We're a good resource for you to learn that, through the belt system, or you don't have to be in the belt system. Just come in, get into the Discord, and plenty of people you'll see plenty of accounts, plenty of ideas, plenty of people will be responsive. You're like, wait a minute, how is that a B there? Right? Some people are just not sure. Shit, I used to know going, what? How am I getting the triangle, right? Often when you're confused, that's the place to go. Okay, so let me keep moving here so I don't just ramble on. I think something I've been doing recently, which is again my own reaction to what I see across the market, is the appeal of market structure. As a complement, that's how I would tell you, it's a complement to Elliott Wave. Some people will prefer it to Elliott Wave because they think it's easier. Now, I would tell you this, the foundation of market structure is just swing structure, right? Higher, high, higher, higher. It's how we've been defining a trend for, since they were making charts, right? Do we have a higher high or a higher low, higher high, higher low, or is that reverse, right? So that part of it is drop dead, a 7-year-old can do it. But all the nuance, that's what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. By the way, plenty of unsuccessful SMC traders out there. In fact, just like any technical approach, the majority are unsuccessful. The vast majority are unsuccessful, right? But what the problem is, right? There's plenty of people that are, influencers, right? Educators, whatever, right? That they want to tell you how easy it is. I don't think I've ever done that. I kind of can go out of my way to remind you how hard this is. So take it, leave it. Maybe you don't like that. Maybe you want someone to tell you, $1 million. God, look at your emails. How many emails do you get a day saying, quit your job, $5,000 a week, easy money, get funded, trade. The funny thing about the funders, the people say, hello, this is Sam. I'm a 6-figure funded account with such and such bullshit. Remember, if you have a 100K funded account, you're not trading 100K, right? So people are just gullible, right? So you're not trading 100K, you're trading a 3K account because that's what your trailing drawdown is. They didn't give you $100,000 or $25,000 or $50,000 or $300,000. They're giving you a tiny increment of that. So if you're a funded 100K account, you got a 3K account. And you better not blow that up. right? That's the name of the game, right? Is the resets, right? They they make it cheap on the front end, right? But then the resets, that's where they make all their money, because people don't understand the trailing drawdown. They don't understand they're not trading with 100,000, they're trading with 3. I digress. Okay, right. So let's come back over here and get back to the task at hand. Okay, right. You don't have to like this count, but I would encourage you to consider it as an alternate. But ultimately, what I'd prefer you did, right, members in particular, and I encourage any Elliott enthusiasts that come to this channel, strip it bare. You won't remember mine. You won't remember it, right? Strip it bare over the weekend. Say, okay, what do I got? Is it the same, right? Resolution here will help, right? And we all look here and we go, okay, what is it, accumulation or distribution? Oh, what do I got here? RSI already coming down. Oh, let me open this up a little bit. We've been in a squeeze damn near the entire time. We had 2 little glimmers where green was coming out of the squeeze, and we have both a Keltner and a Bollinger squeeze, and this is the TTM Squeeze Pro, so you get both of them, right? The only time you want to be trading is when it's green, right? So now we're green, but we're coming down. It's not what you wanted, right? So the OBV, we've got some this is a nice, easy way to track the volume, right? So coming down, RSI rolled over hard, right? As we broke, what did we get? 75 rolled over. Now you can't count on that, but that when you're up here, that's not really where you want to buy it. If you're buying and we're rolling, you want to buy at the 50, right? It's from the 50 to the 90, wherever it's going to go. That's where you want. That's the sweet spot in RSI. A little more risk underneath, right? But that's how people are taught to trade it. Can be good, right? Tighter stop if you're doing that, right? Because you're counter trend at that time. Okay, so let's come back here now. So just to finish that up, as we sit here, if it's distribution, we're coming down here, fill some of these gaps. I would prefer that. We shall see, right? I'd rather it not take out this low, right? Because then we're reconsidering the entire count. So the other way you could just maybe make this easier is say, okay, well there's the low I'm trading against, and where's the highest high where we've had a close? Oh, shit, did we get a close up there? Where's the highest close? Highest close would be right here. Oh shit, come here. Right here. Let's use that. Kind of range it so we're not counting those wicks. Oh, here, let's fatten that up. Oh, let's go to 2, and up here we'll go to 2. Okay, so here's the range we're in. Oh, here, let's try and keep it simple. All right, so I've kind of using this last couple of weeks. Okay, if you're looking to be a buyer to get in sync with what appears to be a bullish trend, can we keep it simple, right? Can we stay, all right, I'm a buyer when it's on sale, right? Discount. I don't want to be a buyer at premium. I'm going to be a buyer at discount, which is, okay, let me wait for a 50% retracement. So right back to what I've been teaching for quite a long time. Let's get it right on that. Here, we'll use the pivot high. All right, this is not that hard to do, right? I got a big fair value gap here. Here's where I'm looking for it. I've got a candidate here for an impulsive 1, some sort of wank. Fuck, who knows, right? A, B. Well, okay, if we come down with an impulse, then we'll go in here, or WXY, depending on what it is. Okay, fine. 1, 2. Right, now, what are we projecting from there, right? If that's 1, 2, we're looking for a big 3, 4, and 5, right? So what's likely going to be that trigger? ETF approval, right? Oh, come here. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I ran out of headroom up here. 5. That's what we're looking for. Now, do I know that's coming? No. Do I think that's coming? Yeah, I do. I really do. I really think this is coming, right? So now, if they drag this ETF on out, and we're getting into the end of the year, we could. Right, where do we invalidate, right? We got to come all the way back to the lows, right? We got to come all the way back down here, because you could wedge some sort of. Oh shit! Here, let's do it this way. This could end up some sort of a wonky correction. It's not out of the ballpark of possibilities. That's certainly one possibility here. With this turns into a deeper correction if we're going to take forever to get this done, which is possible, right? I've been saying for 5 years, the one thing that's going to slow it down, fuck it up, make it more difficult, governments, right? But what are they trying to do? Protect traders, right? So we got to keep that in mind. All right, so let me just get that off of there. I think I've made that point right now. It's a question of what kind of trader are you? You know, are you drawn to this puzzle? Can you solve it with these pieces? Not everyone is, right? And even when you get there, right, I think the advantage of doing it is when it comes time to trade it, you're going to have a whole lot more conviction to pull the trigger there than if you're just, oh, fuck, someone told me that that's a decent spot. If you did it, went through each swing, okay, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? At least you're in control of your own destiny there, and you're making a decision to put money at risk based off of the research you've done. Not just because I said do something or someone else you saw on YouTube said do it, right? You did it. That's when you get conviction, right? Now, put a stop on it. You don't have to trade with leverage, but if you choose to, be sure to put a stop on it. That's just trading 101. And don't think about how much you're going to make. Think about what's the exposure if you're wrong. Assume you're wrong, because you will be wrong when you're right. So let me hide this here, because I was going to make this shorter. So here's a question for you. You know, you have to consider this. You bring up your blank chart. What's easier? Right, I'm not being condescending or facetious. You tell me what's easier? Work through all the 5s and 3s, or do this. That's Sonar Labs, right? That's their market structure indicator, right? Which, oh God, I mention this every week, but I suppose I need to. We have a relationship with them. If you're interested in using that software to help you with your market structure, we get you a little discount. Our link is in our little link tree that's underneath the video in the description. You'll see our link tree, right? So you can get a little kicker on that. Reasonably priced, but you got to use it, right? And you got to study it. And I would remind you again, as I've said earlier, market structure, it's probably easier to master, but not by much. Right, it looks easy at first, just like Elliott Wave looks easy at first. Oh, fuck, 5s and 3s, right? So how hard can it be? It's going to go up or it's going to go down. How hard can it be? Right? Well, this is a tool. Always, right? These are tools to assist. It's about efficiency, right? Is this right? Do I need to mark all these? It's much like Elliott Wave, right? You're going to get so much more out of it if you do it yourself, and you know you can do it yourself. Like an Elliott Wave count, or using something like Motive Wave, or oh God, there's several software products out there that will count the waves for you, but you're not, you know, it's a piece of software. You might see it differently. The software algorithm may get it wrong, or may not have the capacity to nail this as a WXY with a triangle. I mean, you need to know it to get the max value out of it. Same thing with market structure and SMC. Okay, well, this looks like, oh, look at all these changes of character, right? Okay, well, so I guess, oh, what do I do here? I buy here. Do I buy here? Oh, where's an order block? Do I buy there? It's not that simple. Right, so, well, you look for some new content from us, because what we think is the ultimate solution here is to, they complement one another. I mean, you're very much doing market structure when you're doing Elliott. Oh, shit, put on a Donchian channel. You're doing market structure. It's not like it's new. There's very little new in technical analysis. Very little. Like very little, right? So this is market structure, and smart money it's marketing. It's taking technical concepts that have been around since the 70s and repackaging them. Now I got to give the guy credit, right? Who made this popular, right? Just brilliant. Right? Guy's made gazillions of dollars, right? Just repackaging. Brilliant guy, right? Huge influence. As influential as, at this point in FX, he's as influential as oh shit, I made this too much, but he's getting in the neighborhood of Gann and Elliott. He's influenced an entire generation of Forex traders. Interesting. All right, so here's the market structure. Now we can do the look. This is how my trading has evolved as I've been. I've added this in as a result of market demand. So all I do is I just combine the two. So I go, okay, wait a second. Now let me put the Elliott Wave on here. Okay, did everything just get completely fucked because I've got market structure on top of the Elliott Wave count? No, they complement each other beautifully, right? Which is the whole foundation of the course I'm writing, which is, okay, how do we use these together? How do we use these together? Break of structure coming out of a triangle gives me a new low. Change of character. Do I get a break of structure anywhere in here, right? I'm still in the process of that correction. Here's the last pivot high I've got right here. Oh, gave me a break of structure, right? It's not until I take that out over here. This is change of character, change of character. I don't have any breaks of structure yet. Here's the last break of structure I have here. These are all internal changes of character. So you look at here and you say, okay, well, wait a minute here. I mean, some people would put it up here, right? It's chalk, right? First, then the break of structure. Okay. Do they work together? Okay, well, now we looked before. We looked at that range, swing low to swing high. Well, this is giving you a tighter range in here at this degree here. You can work from this since we had, here's our swing high, here's our swing low. Now we've already gone through it, but we don't close below it, right? So this is potentially a change of character because this was the swing high, here's the swing low, right? So it's not making it any easier for the market structure trader. What's your swing structure here? You don't really have one. Right, so now here's two order blocks that are broken, or demand zones, call them what you will, right? So here's all the fair value gaps, here's all the imbalance down here. Is that where we're going? Well, if we close here, we're going to get a new low. We'll have a change of character, right? Here's the high, here's the low. So we shall see. Oh, I don't know if there's much else here, right? So we can put the same kind of thing. We can put the, right, always going to use the fibs, right? Where's Waldo? Right, so here, although I think it would use it this way. Here's our highest close. We're coming back here, same thing, right? We end up in the same spot, same idea. Imbalances, here's an order or demand zone, order block, call it what you will. We come back down here. Boy, let's hope we get an opportunity. Right, I'm not saying, when I say that, I don't mean it couldn't possibly break here. I'm saying this would be a reasonable location to be looking for the next long. We again, try and keep it simplified when you can. Would this be higher high, higher low, higher high? Isn't that all that the measured move algo is? That's all it is, right? Swing structure. Okay, let me. I don't think there's anything to do here. Let's see how this resolves here. God damn it! Ended up doing this twice, and I don't know that I like this any better. I just kind of there's not much to say in here, so maybe I'm talking without saying too much. But I do think this showing how these complement each other. Is it required? Nope. Elliott required? Nope. You could do one, the other, or both. Right, interesting question for people to ponder. Okay, so let me go over to ETH because I think this is actually even harder. This same thing. I think a good exercise to do this. Right, here's our last dominant swing low. Right, how are you counting that? Well, but before we get into it, it's really not unreasonable. Oh, I'd probably do this. Right, it's not unreasonable to say, okay, it's just a big, fat. Oh, let's go to a daily. You want to be in log? Yeah, let's go to log. Big, fat consolidation. All right, it looks different out here at this degree. Swing, retreat. Right, does this not look like, oh shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Right, does it, shit, that thing sticks on your mouse. Right, could we know there's more here. Oh, because I'm BitGet here, we don't have the full history here. So 1, that's the COVID low. 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, right? So let's just keep it drop dead simple if we can, right? There's so much power in simplifying. We tend to overcomplicate. 5, 3. Now, all right, gets a little trickier when we get in here. Is that a 5, followed by a 3, followed by a 5? Well, at this distance, it looks like it, doesn't it? It looks like, oh, okay, there's a 1, there's a 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, right? So it looks like this, if this is 1, 2, looks like we're just putting in a 1, 2 because we're going for 3, 4, 5. There's 5 out here. Ran out of room. Doesn't it? All right, don't get caught in the weeds or the trees and lose sight of the forest, right? 1, 2, 1, maybe 2. Maybe there's another leg down, 2, before we go 3, 4, 5. Well, actually, this would be... I drew that incorrectly, right? 1, 2, we'd need 5 in here, right? So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to give us that 3, right? These I mean, as far as I'm concerned, next July, this is going to be, we'll be way up here, right? This will be like, oh, remember how cute that was when we stalled it? What did we get to here? 4,800. That was so cute. Wasn't that a cute little run up there? That little baby impulse. That's my view, my opinion. Take it, leave it, right? Have your own. Okay, let's with that all done, out here where it's again Elliott, always easier to see. Dailies, 4 hours, right? When you go down, everybody wants to go down to the 15, the 5 minute, the 2 minute. Not as effective. Okay, so let me Jesus, here, let's get back to let's get to a 4 hour here. I'm going to get out of log here. By the way, I absolutely hate this new way they're doing it, but I guess I'm stuck with it. Okay, so let's get the market structure off, right? Well, let's take it off. Okay, so same idea. All right, blank your chart. My suggestion, you don't have to do it. What do you got? What do you got? 5, 3, 5, 3. That kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Can I get a 5 here? Can I get a 3 here? Can I get a 5 here? Can I get a 3 here? Can I get a 5 here? Before you even fill it in. Now, going through and getting all the subdivision, that's a trickier challenge, right? Now, so I bring this back here, and again, this took me a little time to do. Right, it gets very tricky in here because some of this, if you're applying rules and guidelines, it's really you got to check, and you know, are you absolutely sure in here? Are you absolutely sure in here? The final push here, very tricky here. So you've got a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 diag here. It looks like, oh wait a minute, it looks like 3. No, I measured it, right? 3 is longer than 1. So we go 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, right, to finish that fucker. Very difficult count, right? But at when you go into the subdivision, but if you look out at distance, pretty straightforward, right? Pretty straightforward. Now we look at, okay, well, if I have a 1 here, right? Let's put it in context. Well, what is that the 1 of? Actually, I have these. These are too big. This should be higher, right? So if I'm going to do this the right way, let's put that in. We'll put it in white. Okay, 1, 2. Well, if this is 1, right? That's 1 of 3. Well, shit. Well, let's go with it. It could be 1 of 3, but let's go with 1, 2, 1, 2. Right now, so the next question is, okay, well, can I make it fly? Right? Does it fly? Is it valid? This leg's a little skinny, right? People might disagree with me on this. Again. Never here to tell you my count is the right count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay, so if I've got a swing that completes here that's valid, I got a 5. Now, there's complexity to it, but do I not have a 3 here, right? What's the foundation of Elliott? 5s and 3s. Coming off of that, do I have a 5? Sure looks like it. Now, you have to want to do it. You have to want to learn how to do that. And if you want to, I mean, we're a reasonable place to come get that knowledge, right? You can, that's what we do. So, okay, is there 5 here? Yep. Is there 3 here? 5 here? 3 here? Okay, so looks pretty good. Well, if this is the start of the 2 and I complete an impulse here, I'd be curious, right? Wouldn't that be? Fuck, come here. Right, how we do here? Where are we looking for a 2? 50 to the golden zone would be the ideal range, right? A little front run, not terribly surprising. We get a little front run there, running into, you could kind of look at all this and say, boy, just a lot of congestion here, a lot of congestion before we could do it this way. Before we finally broke out of it, now what are we doing? We're coming all the way back to that congestion, all right? Which is why, the people buying up here, like, I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it. Just a reminder, right? You got to look left. And all that over here. I'm sure if we put a little market structure here, we could see some supply up here. All of these guys here, it's going to the moon. It's going to the floor. It's going to the moon, right? All right, somebody's doing it. Have to. Right? Fortunately, they do it for us. WXY probably, right, for the purists, right? This likely 5, 3, 5, 3. A, B, C. So it's not gorgeous, right? But then so we get a technical pivot here. It's reasonable. Now we come off of it with a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little wonky in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got a 1. A, B, C into a 2. Why not? Now that's certainly not what anyone was looking for. Do we have to rethink this? Remains to be seen. That could be an expanded B. I know we have the impulse here. Well, no is the wrong word. Good probability here. I've got an impulse that completes here. A, B, C into a 2. Now that's not a great looking 1. So possibility, right? We're going to do an A, B, expand the B, and come down for a C. Let's see. Do we get a 5 that comes down here? That would fly, right? We could see a we could do a flat, right? We can do an ABC. What do we get, right? What remains to be seen. Is that bad news for a bull? Really, it's not. Where do we want to buy it? We want to buy it down here. It's really not bad news. Now, you look at all of this, again, this took me some time, right? It's because a lot of times you're like, oh, shit, that won't work. Oh, nope, that won't work. Oh, shit, that won't work. Things that work. Right, 1, 2. Where do we look for it? Oh, pardon me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Note here we don't overlap here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Deep 4. It's deep 4. Got our second target. A little unusual. Looks similar here. We get a WXY here, WXY here. If this is our 2, okay, well, then the one thing we know with certainty is that this low needs to hold. So the expectation is whatever's happening here, this is the key pivot, right? So this is whether it's market structure or Elliott Wave, this is the one that's got to hold. 5, 3. Now 5 could be an ABC, right? We don't know, right? You never know, right? It's always just a snapshot in time, right? Could be this. So we'll have to wait on that. I don't think there's anything to do, although if we come down here in a 5, so if it plays out like this, if we come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something along those lines, and what we know, here's our high probability zone. Okay, you don't have to sit with a limit order, but maybe something like that. 1, 2, right? Low risk, very close to the pivot, right? If it takes it out, it takes it out, right? Very, very, very reasonable risk reward. Okay, let me. How'd the market do? Oh God, really tanked. Okay, so we got good look here. I don't think there's much value in me taking you through every swing here. I would just challenge you to do it yourself, and then maybe post it up for members. Post it up in the Discord. See if you get concurrence or if you get a different count than mine. I'd be curious to see what you come up with as well. Okay, so we're a little bit of hurry up and wait on both of these, but good signs, right? Good signs despite this little sell-off here. Good signs that okay, we got an impulse, we got a correction, we got an impulse, waiting for this correction to complete, and then look to get on the long side again. I'll finish up here because, good God, I've gone too long here. Let's go over here. I had, let's look at Bitcoin D first, and then we'll look at Total3. We've looked at this many times, right? So you see, you can do the same kind of analysis here. Okay, double top, just a range here, equal highs, equal lows. Now what happens, right? Is there an Elliott here? Not useful, but out of the consolidation comes the expansion. Right? And we happen to expand in an impulse. Now, you can't trade this, but we can certainly keep an eye on this. Is it moving impulsively after this long sideways correction? Right? It's the same question down here. Is it accumulation or distribution? Well, that was a reasonable bet. That was accumulation. Now, if we're going to get an ETF, right, who goes faster and farther, Bitcoin or the alts? Well, let's look at total. Oh, what do I have here? This is total 3. So this is alts less Bitcoin and ETH. Total 3 alts excluding Bitcoin and ETH. Well, retracing. Same idea here, and I put some market structure on this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got Sonar Labs on this. Went right to the supply zone. Ticked it. You'd think, oh, come on, total 3 is not going to trade that technically. They all trade technically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got this nice little trend line liquidity is how Sonar Labs would use that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like I got a little a little diag here with the overlap into a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Looks like I'm trying to put in a 4 here. We don't want that to go too far. Candidate, right? There's a candidate here for another kick into a 5, so we'd be looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to need a big. If this holds here, we're going to need a big kick here for alts to go. They're ripe for it, the strong ones, but they're not there yet. So one to watch here, but that's a good sign. Now we've just come into the other way you can think of this with a positive tone is we've just come into the discount. All right, so we'd like to see this hold, right, for alts to have the opportunity to fly, because alts, when they fly, right, it's good for business, good for everybody, good for the exchanges, good for traders, good for everybody, good for the industry. So we'll hope that gets some legs. Okay, there's 41 minutes. That's probably enough. Right, I've probably done enough here. Again, I don't know that I'm giving you anything today where it's like, okay, well here, okay, I know exactly what to do next. I think right now everything is kind of in a holding pattern here, and we're in the summer, and volumes are lighter, and there's a lot of, you always hear that talk. Things are moving, and progress is being made. So it's a good time to be fine-tuning your skills, perhaps working on, what again, as I've been saying kind of throughout the theme here, what kind of trader are you, right? Do you like all that detail? You don't need to do it. But you got to have something that you do consistently every time, right? So you're not winging it. Well, that Elliott didn't work, so I'm not going to study that anymore. Well, that market structure shit, that looked easy at first, but I keep getting stopped out. I'm not on which order block to use, right? There's no easy path, right? It's just, where are you willing to invest the work? What are you drawn to, right? Does the 5s and 3s and that approach to technical analysis appeal to you, or would you rather just click a button and here's the supply, here's the demand? And again, if it were that easy, right, everyone would be trading from the south of France on their yacht. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. We're back. Live streams have been going well, so I'll be back on Wednesday, where I really enjoy those, where I get to see what the members are looking at, what they're up to, and that's where I do think you'll find more setups than what we review here at the end of the week. This is kind of just a review for the members that we make available to non-members, right? Perhaps this will be an enticement for you to join us. Okay, with that said, I'll wrap it here and wish you guys a good weekend. I think it's going to get, we're starting to get enough here to where we're going to get some resolution. I'll be shocked if next week Bitcoin's, oh shit, I can't even find it anymore. If Bitcoin is in the exact same spot, is in that same, oh shit, I can't remember where it is. I'd be surprised if we're in that same consolidation phase, but we might be. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll talk to you next week.